3 games, 3 wins, 142 points scored, but for now, the real test begins. The All Blacks have beaten the Stormers, Sharks and the Bulls, but none of these teams are the Springboks. And that's why for me, everything we've seen so far has really just been preparation for what comes next. Because starting on 22nd of August, it's the All Blacks against the world champions. And I've got a prediction that might surprise a few people. I'm backing the All Blacks to win 3 of the 4 tests. All Blacks to win the first test, Springbok to win the second, and the All Blacks to win the last 2 tests. Now before anyone starts getting carried away, I have enormous respect for the Springboks. They're the world champions, they're ranked number 1, and they've already shown they can absolutely destroy the All Blacks side. So why do I think New Zealand could win this tour? Let me explain. The first game against the Stormers was probably the least convincing of the 3. The All Blacks won 38-21, but it wasn't exactly smooth sailing. The Stormers stayed in the fight for a long period, and New Zealand had to wait until the final quarter before pulling away. There were also discipline issues, including 2 yellow cards. So while the scoreboard eventually looked comfortable, the performance showed there were plenty for Dave Rennie to work on. And that's actually important because the All Blacks didn't come to South Africa and immediately look unbeatable. They had problems, they had things to fix, and then they fixed them. 4 days later, they went to Durban and absolutely dismantled the Sharks 54 points to 0. 8 tries and a clean sheet. Suddenly the conversation around this team changed. The All Blacks looked more clinical, their discipline improved, their game management improved, and they looked far more comfortable in South African conditions. It also created a massive selection headache for Dave Rennie because players were competing for positions before the test squad was finalised. And then came the Bulls. This is where I think the All Blacks really sent a message. 50 points to 19 at Loftus with 8 tries. Josh Moorby scored twice, Cody Taylor scored twice, and even Leroy Carter scored twice as well. Rieko Ioane crossed and Wallace Atiti added another further. That's a lot of different players contributing. And what stood out wasn't simply the numbers of points. It was how New Zealand scored them. They were strong at set piece, effective at the breakdown, punished turnovers, and once they got momentum, they didn't let the Bulls back into the game. Now this is the important bit of context here. The Bulls were depleted, so I'm not going to pretend like beating them to 50 points to 19 means the All Blacks are automatically ready to beat the Springboks. It doesn't, but it does show something. This team is getting better as the tour progresses, and that's exactly what you want heading into a test series. One player who certainly made people sit up is Leroy Carter. He scored twice against the Bulls and showed exactly why his pace can be such a weapon. Carter's background in sevens has helped develop his attacking instincts and ability to find space. And now he's getting his opportunity to show what he can do at the highest level. Josh Moorby is another player making his case after scoring 2 tries against the Bulls as well. Then you've got Cody Taylor with his captaincy experience and years of test rugby behind him. And when you add players like Ardie Savea and other experienced All Blacks into the mix, this squad has a really interesting combination of youth, pace and experience. That's one of the biggest reasons I think New Zealand can make this series very competitive. It's not just the players, it's the momentum. The All Blacks haven't simply won 3 games, they've improved with every match. The Stormers exposed some problems, the Sharks showed a much more clinical All Blacks side, and the Bulls' performance was probably the most complete of the 3. Dave Rennie has also made it clear that the Bulls match was a useful preparation for the Springboks, while acknowledging that the intensity will go up another level when these 2 sides finally meet. And that's the key. The All Blacks know exactly what's coming. They're not going into the series thinking that the job is already done. They know South Africa are a completely different challenge. The Springboks are the number 1 in the world. They're back-to-back World Cup champions, and the last time these 2 sides met in 2025, South Africa beat New Zealand 43 points to 10, and that was the All Blacks' biggest defeat in Test history. So there is no question who deserves the respect here. South Africa have earned it. Rassie Erasmus has built a team with incredible physicality, depth and experience, and they've got players who have been through these massive Test matches before. So I'm not predicting a comfortable All Blacks series win, I'm predicting a battle. And here's where I see things going. Test 1 at Ellis Park, I'm taking the All Blacks. And yes, I know, a big call. South Africa at home, Ellis Park, the world champions. But I think New Zealand's momentum, their attacking threats, and the confidence they've built across these tour games gives them a genuine chance of starting the series with a win. Then comes Test 2 in Cape Town. This is where I think the Springboks respond. They'll have a test to assess exactly where New Zealand are bringing, and I think the pressure and physicality of the Springboks eventually gets them over the line. So after 2 tests, I'm calling it 1-1. Then we get to the 3rd test at F&B Stadium. This could be the match that decides the entire series. By this point, both teams will know each other extremely well. There won't be many surprises, and that's where I think the All Blacks' ability to attack from different areas of the field could become a major factor. I'm taking New Zealand again, making it 1-2. And then we get the fourth test in Baltimore, a completely different environment. The first 3 tests have been played in South Africa, but this one takes the rivalry to the United States. And this is where I'm backing the All Blacks to finish the job. 3-1. That's my prediction. All Blacks win the series 3-1. Now, do I think it's guaranteed? Absolutely not. The Springboks could easily prove me completely wrong, and that's what makes this series so exciting. But I genuinely believe the All Blacks have the team to do it. They have the momentum, experience, young players pushing hard for selection, experienced coaches, and perhaps most importantly, they look like a team that is starting to believe in itself. But there's one more game sitting in between the first and second test that we just can't forget. The Lions. The All Blacks will face the Lions in Johannesburg on August 25th, just 3 days after the opening test. That match isn't the main event. The 4 tests against South Africa are. But I still think it's an important part of the tour, especially when it comes to managing the squad and keeping players ready for test level. And that's really what these first 3 games have been about, building towards the moment that actually matters. The Stormers, the Sharks and the Bulls. 3 wins, 3 different challenges, and now everything changes. The Springboks are waiting. This isn't Super Rugby. This isn't a provincial side. This is the number 1 team in the world against number 2. It's the world champions against the All Blacks. And for me, New Zealand have done enough over the first 3 games to convince me they can do this. But now I want to know what you think. Am I completely wrong calling the All Blacks to win 3-4? Do you think South Africa will dominate the series? Or are you with me and backing New Zealand to pull off the biggest results of the tour? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Ever wanted to create your own Rugby Highlights channel just like this one? With my course, the YouTube Creator Toolkit, I show you exactly how I do it. From the tools I use to the templates I built. You get everything. Just copy, paste, and start creating. Learn how to grow your channel, keep viewers hooked, and turn views into income. Click the link in the description below to learn more and start your channel today. Now back to the video. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace!